Get it off.
Want me to introduce it?
If you want to, go ahead.
I'm done.
All right, I'm recording whenever everybody's ready.
What do I say?
Bro, just welcome to another edition
of the Tough Episode 9.
Episode 9. Like, comment, subscribe, y'all that. Come on, you gonna do it?
Part what?
Yeah. I ain't no hoe.
Yep. All right, go ahead, Josh.
We're ready whenever.
Go ahead. It's recording?
Yep.
Oh, we've been recording this whole time. I'm gonna be honest. This is some good little extra credits in the beginning. Go ahead, Tyrell, bro. This is all you.
All right. Welcome to the podcast, the Tough Podcast, best podcast on YouTube. You know, got the boys with us.
Yeah.
You know, make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Episode 9.
Episode 9.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We in. Hey, before we get started with the topics, I know y'all got a lot to talk about. I need to know who I'm in this room with. What is the best cereal? Top 3 cereals, please. Before we continue anything, I need to know who I'm in a room with. Top 3 cereals.
Mine are gonna make people mad, so I'll go last.
Look, the only way Josh can make me mad is if he says like some Wheaties or something. But at the end of the day, man, look, me and Tony the Tiger, we got it going on. Frosted Flakes and nobody else. Yeah. End of discussion.
That's so my top 3, bro: Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cheerios, and then probably Frosted Flakes or Fruit Loops. I'm gonna go Frosted Flakes.
All right, I'll go next. All right. Mine is Honey Bunches of Oats, most underrated cereal in the world. Honey Bunches of Oats. Then Captain Crunch.
Okay.
And then I'm about to go with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yeah, the day bang.
Okay. So my number 1 is Frosted Flakes. Number 2 is Fruity Pebbles.
Okay.
And number 3 is Mini Wheats.
Oh,
Frosted Mini Wheats.
You like
okay? At least you said Frosted. Said Frosted. It's
Yeah.
still
You said Frosted.
Wait, they make unfrosted Mini
now,
Wheats?
if you was just eating Mini Wheats like hell, babe.
Wait, they make unfrosted Mini Wheats? I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's disgusting.
There's some sick people.
Yeah,
But
well,
to be honest, bro, it's kind of half-assing it because they only slap frosting on one half.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like
will
to.
say this before I let Josh go. There is some cereal that is perfectly good without the milk. I heard Fruit Loops. That is perfect without the milk. Cheerios is perfect without the milk.
I really like Frosted Flakes without the milk.
Yeah, not
Frosted
every
Flakes is
cereal
fine.
needs milk, people. Like, seriously. Just
Mini
clean
Wheats
it with
do.
your hands.
Bro, they literally cookies, bro.
Mini Wheats need
milk.
milk.
Yeah, if I see somebody eating Mini Wheats out the box, bro, we gonna have
You know what else is underrated?
Scrap.
I had to get some fiber in my diet, so I had a lot of Special K. Special K is really
Special
good.
K is delicious.
Yeah.
Nah. I had this one Special K. I had the little chocolate things on there with the granola and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff was slap.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody.
They expensive.
Tyrell, did you say Honey Bunches of Oats?
I think so.
Most slept on cereal.
Are you 80?
Listen.
My grandma, the only person I've seen eat Honey Bunches of Oats is my grandma, bro.
Bro, listen. I can't even say nothing.
Defend your brand. Defend your brand.
Listen, I thought his first thing first got granola, so that's healthy choice. Instead of eating that fruity fruit, cinnamon stuff y'all like.
I said Cheerios. Honey Nut Cheerios is top notch, my boy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't
Honey
argue
Nut
with
Cheerios, part of this good breakfast. What happened to the Cheerios commercials? Didn't they just?
Yeah, with the bee. That bee was killing. He was making it killing.
It seems.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
but that's like with the Cinnamon Toast Crunch commercials, bro. There was like 3 of them. Now it's
those were kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro,
That's promoting cannibalism, you know?
Yeah, but remember at the beginning it was the 3 chefs. It was like the 3 bakers or chefs. Or
oh yeah, that's true. I forgot. We were really young when those came out.
And they was eating each other, bro.
And then there was the Apple Jacks commercial. There was
cinnamon and an apple. Yeah, they had some fire commercials.
Yeah, they did.
What's that one cereal?
You remember Silly Rabbit? Tricks are for kids. So there was
Tricks was trash though. Tricks ain't never.
Charms commercial.
Don't talk about tricks like that. Don't do that.
Then there was
Lucky Charms was good when I was like 10.
Yeah, Lucky
They
Charms.
were fire back then.
I don't like the fact that Lucky Charms and whatchamacallit, Frosted Flakes got together and they started putting marshmallows in there.
Yeah,
I
I
that
don't
shit
like
was-
mixing
that's
brands
sick.
like that. That's
That's
weird,
sick.
man.
The Post cereal got it on lock, bro. Post cereal, they got it on lock.
Post
Yeah,
Kellogg's
Post
is
got all this cereal.
oh, Honey Bunches is also Post. Yep, I agree. Post
Oh, never mind.
They
Throw it
got it
out.
on lock. Hey, what's that? What's
Yeah.
that one that the honeycombs or
Honey
Okay.
Smack.
Oh, yeah,
Honeycombs
yeah.
was good.
Yeah, they used to be
Honeycomb.
sugar
I never had that
smacks.
Honey
before.
Smacks was good. Honey Smacks was good,
Mhm.
bro. With
never
the
had that.
frog on the front. Yeah.
I thought they were
No.
sugar smacks back in the day,
I
and then
thought-
they
I
changed
thought-
it.
Yeah, one of the two.
They changed
I
it
thought
because
that-
that promoted bad eating for kids.
It's
So they changed
sugar.
it.
Man, you know me. How much
I think you
sugar
might be
in a
right,
box
Kyler.
of
I think it was
cereal?
Honey Smacks,
Yeah,
like that
one
they
of the
changed it
two.
to.
Bruh, what is that little? It was this yellow pops.
Oh, pop! I used to like
Pops.
Pops when I was younger.
Bruh,
They weren't
my
that
mom
bad.
was
Yeah, they're
a-
Honey Smacks now. You're right,
obsessed-
Kyler.
My mom was obsessed with Pops, and that she had me eat them. But that's the
My
Do you
mom
guys
was also
remember-
obsessed with that.
Do you guys remember the Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah.
So I had
The Reese's cereal too. Yeah.
I never liked Reese's.
So my cousin, he used to go full on chocolate. So he would put chocolate milk in his Cocoa Puffs.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
He's a
God.
criminal.
Nuts.
Is he
You know,
behind?
nuts. And you know that commercial? It was like, it's so chocolatey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever
Yeah.
that dude was. I think it was like
Is
a
he in a
bird.
maximum security prison now?
Well, you never know nowadays. You
Because
never know.
it sounds like he walked around with Dorito fingers and hot Cheeto fingers. He was doing that.
You know.
Yeah,
Hey, speaking of that, I got a question. Have y'all ever, like, in school, in high school or like middle school or something? No, not high school, but middle school. Y'all had that one kid that had food in their pockets.
Oh yeah.
MBG.
I
Straight
that definitely wasn't me
food.
or anything, but if it was,
Hey man, before Michelle Obama took in her health initiative, man, we
True.
used to sell
Oh
honey,
yeah,
Pop
yeah,
Tart, Pop Fries.
Yes, sir.
fucking-
yeah.
We
My,
used
now
to
my
have-
gig though, my gig was selling mechanical pencils. Boy, I used
that was
to
everybody's,
killing.
bro. That
I
was
used to make a killing.
We even had teachers that used to sell pop for like 75 cents, freaking ramen noodles for 75 cents, and then they
What
just
the- what type of
what
Yeah,
fucking
man,
school
you
did you
gotta
go
go
to?
to-
convenience store.
was it illegal? Probably, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were giving it to a good cause. Just tell them they were donating it or whatever.
See a teacher come into school with a fur coat. Well, where do you get that? And just slinging.
Kyler,
slinging noodles.
do you remember in middle school when we used to have those chicken sandwiches and they were like coveted because it was better than all the other trash food we had?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember who Gabe Hyde was?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. I don't remember. Anyway, but there was one day that he had gotten like an extra chicken sandwich from the lunch ladies because they were giving him out, and like I was upset about it. So, and he was gloating it. You know, he was gloating. He was in my face with it, like, I got an extra one. He's calling me fat and shit, and I was like, oh, okay, you're a funny guy. I get it. So he came outside at recess, and he went to take his first bite, and I slapped the shit out of his hands onto the ground. The only reason it reminded me of that because he texted me yesterday and told me that he still remembers it to this day, and he's still upset about it. I was like,
Yeah, bro, we only had a couple things that was good, bro. We had them chicken sandwich and what was it, like the Mexican pizzas, the fiestadas or whatever.
that was at
Those were
Heartland,
fire.
bro. But
Yeah, those
I don't
circle-
remember getting Mexican pizza at All Saints.
I do. If I
You could be
remember, I think
right.
we did,
My
like,
memory's terrible.
because
There was just
everything else was
sausage on
trash,
mine.
bro.
There was just sausage on my Mexican pizza.
Yeah, bro. If you
Are
go, y'all know what clown cone is?
No.
I heard
Oh
of it.
yeah.
Northern Lights, the candy shop. They sell them best ever. Fire. They sell
True.
the
Oh.
fiestadas, bro.
What about those?
Yeah,
What about those PB&Js we used to have? Y'all
Oh,
don't
the
remember?
Yeah, y'all had
Uncrustables.
The bars. The bars.
I still get the
the graham
Uncrustables.
cracker, the graham cracker.
Yeah, the
Oh.
graham cracker, then the PB&J and the jelly. That was-
I thought you were talking about the
Yes.
Uncrustables. That's where I was going with it.
No,
Oh, that-
wait,
yo,
Uncrustables
those were-
too.
some of
That was
those
nasty.
two-
Yeah. Whoa! Hey! Whoa!
Oh,
What did you
yeah,
just
bro.
say?
Tripping.
No. You're
didn't like those?
crazy.
You didn't like those?
Nah.
I had to let them thaw out a little bit before I ate mine.
Yeah, for sure. You can't eat them frozen. You know they have savory ones now.
Do they?
Yeah, they have ones with
These
like
kids are
pulled
so
barbecue
lucky,
chicken in
bro.
it.
These kids are so lucky, bro. They don't understand the struggle.
Yeah.
The
It was
best
a
thing,
hustle.
though, man, for real, I can't find them nowhere. I even tried looking it up. Y'all remember the Minute Maid juice bars, the frozen
Yeah.
ones?
Yes.
Bro, I cannot find those nowhere, bro. I tried to order some. Nobody got them.
They got rid
I'm
of a lot of my childhood favorite snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Do you guys remember
Alright,
those?
guys, listen.
I think they were called grips, and they were from.
Oh,
They were like
and,
the little cheese
they had,
balls,
like,
and they had
Yeah,
cookies
or
too.
they had the cookie ones. Yep, I remember.
Those-
I got
those
them
were-
at-
those were the
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember
Them
that.
was
But then they come in I think they had a run for a minute. They had like
Yeah, bro, they were
flavors.
so good, bro.
Yeah, they still
I
are.
had
I don't know what
cheese
happened
one,
to
the
them.
cookies one though. Yeah, those is good.
I know. I used to mix them, so I was a weird ass kid. Still
You
am.
made-
but-
oh,
Yeah.
You-
Maybe I should just leave the Zoom call now. I thought I was gonna get a couple of people that were like, "Yeah, I do that too."
Yeah, me too. Oh my god, bro. Yeah, we usually agree. Not on that.
That's all right. That's okay.
Oh my goodness. All right, man.
Man.
Shit. Y'all shoot off, man. Whatever else is going on, man. If y'all want to talk about, go ahead.
This is.
I got some.
All right, you
Okay,
first. Time.
y'all-
Go ahead. You sure?
My man.
You sure?
Mine's gonna take a while, so it's up for you.
All right. What was it? 2 days ago. Nah, yesterday I had scramblers for the first time. That
Okay.
it was slap.
Yeah.
It was slap.
We told you. We told you it was fire. What is a
was
Bob
slap.
Evans? Cam
Listen,
ain't here to
listen.
defend Bob Evans.
I was gonna say.
But
We want
listen,
a Scramblers endorsement. Yeah, what's up?
my menu was dirty. That's how I knew it was gonna be all right.
You said that man, you was dirty.
It had stains on it.
Yeah.
Man.
What did you get, bro? I get the French toast, bro.
I got the regular homemade pancakes with the
You can't
bacon.
go wrong with no pancake.
That's true.
yeah.
Hold on,
I
hold
couldn't
on.
even
I'm sorry.
finish it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, because Ricardo, I know you got your thing. Pancakes, waffles, or French toast?
French toast.
Pancakes.
Every day.
Waffles.
French
Fuck
toast.
off! You guys
Pancakes.
are crazy.
French toast.
Thank you, Kyler. We're back
I
on
say
track.
French toast, bro, because waffles and pancakes are available everywhere. Like, you can make them at home. It's kind of hard. It's harder to make French
American
toast,
style
bro.
pancakes and
That's
American
why
style
you choose,
waffles
'cause
suck.
It's hard to make.
Come on, Kyle. That is the
They're
reason.
less convenient, bro, and they
Listen,
taste
listen.
better. They just
Listen,
taste better.
Belgian
I got-
waffles are above French toast, but
Waffles are better. You got to have that. It's so fluffy. The fluff. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
have you guys
bro.
ever seen
Dude, that's so
the Japanese
fluffy.
pancakes that like
Yeah,
that are
Japanese
like
pancakes.
that fucking thick?
Yeah.
I want to try those.
They're
I've never
fluffy,
seen
man.
that.
I'm telling you, you got that fluff, that depth, that width.
But I don't know,
I mean-
bro. French toast, dude.
Yeah,
I got-
I love French toast.
I could
bro.
eat like 2 French toast sticks. I get tired of it. Like,
Why are you eating
pancakes?
French toast sticks? Why are you eating French toast sticks?
What are
That's
y'all
fine.
talking about? What are
Like
y'all
real
talking
French
about?
toast,
Have you
like
ever
with a
had real
piece of
French
Texas toast. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about with the bread?
How did bread? And then you like dip it in egg and then the powdered sugar.
Yeah.
He don't even know what he talking about. He's over here hating. He's talking about some French toast sticks.
Y'all confusing me. Y'all confusing me. You know what I'm saying?
No, there's
Y'all
many
confusing
different
me.
ways to make it, but it's the same thing. Whether you want the sticks or you want the toast.
That's why they all taste the same. when they-
No,
no,
okay,
no,
all right,
no.
hold on, because that's like saying like Eggo waffles are the same as like Waffle House waffles.
No, 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 no,
That's
no,
just
I
not
didn't mean it like
correct.
that. I didn't mean it like that.
Okay.
I didn't mean it like that.
I got you. No matter if you cut it
Eggo's
into
good,
sticks
too.
or not, it's still the
First
same.
off,
I get you.
Tyrell's breakfast opinion is irrelevant because he hasn't had a McGriddle. You haven't had a McGriddle. So your breakfast
Oh, yeah, I
opinion
forgot
is
about that.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Listen. Y'all need to show love to IHOP more though. Even
They do.
though
They-
I'm on
IHOP
Team
ain't-
Scramblers,
Bro,
Yeah.
show some love to IHOP.
IHOP is trash.
IHOP is shit.
You can get waffles and chicken if you want. Chicken and waffles.
Yeah, that's
And
bad.
He said that's
That
Josh
is
was
bad.
fed up with that. Josh was fed up with that.
If you're
He's like,
gonna
I'm
open up a restaurant, you got to choose one thing. You can't have Asian and you can't have Mexican. You can't have American together. It's got to be fucking one thing. Okay.
Yeah, see, now-
You
now
can't
that's my
have
thing, bro,
breakfast,
'cause
lunch, and dinner all at one spot.
Yeah, it's like, bro, they're not bad. I'm not saying that, but for all the glory and hype they get, bro, they're overrated. They're not that good.
They don't get no hype. They get no love.
when dude, when they
International
try
House of Pancakes. What are you talking about?
when they tried to put themselves as a burger restaurant for that little bit, that's when it all cut it
Yeah.
down for me. I know that it was like, oh, it's a joke, it's a meme, whatever. Fuck you. You still tried to do it. It just didn't work.
Yeah, bro. All right, Ricardo, man, what you got, bro?
Yeah, let's get into it.
This is just, and I want to talk about diversity for a while, and it's a sensitive topic nowadays, and I've been so frustrated. A lot of good things have happened for Black people in the last few months. We have our first biracial vice president coming up. In terms of sports, we had an all-Black officiating crew in the NFL. You have Ohio State just last week against Michigan State, their first Black head coach in history, and all these responses.
Oh, and the mayor in Baltimore, I seen it today on Twitter.
Exactly.
Bro has a full-on afro.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right.
You know, so we've had some good news happen worldwide, and a lot of white people have been offended.
Not
And
you, Josh. We know how you.
and-
we know
No,
how
it's
you get
okay.
down,
It's
brother.
okay. I'm
And
full
these-
down for this.
And these are the comments that I'm hearing. The number one comment: why does race matter? Why do we have to bring race into anything? This is going to do nothing more but divide us. Oh, I like when it came to Larry Johnson. Oh, it doesn't matter if he's black, white, purple, blue, as long as he can coach and win the game.
Okay, well.
As long as the refs are good refs and they call a good game, I don't care what color they are. It's like they don't understand what we've been through to get to this moment, and all they do is they want to shit on our parade.
Can I speak first whenever you're done?
Absolutely, and
Okay.
it makes me so upset because me and Kyler just took a course where it just talked about, like, let's talk about black head coaches, for example.
Yeah, the Rooney Rule.
The Rooney Rule. You literally had successful black head coaches, and they literally fired all of them for literally below average to mediocre white coaches. You look at what the Detroit Lions did. They literally fired a more successful black coach, and they hired Matt Patricia.
It was terrible.
Matt Patricia.
They are terrible.
They were terrible. Like, they were awful,
Yeah.
right? And it's just like things like that just bother us because they don't acknowledge that they were in the wrong, that they did not need to fire him. You look at Larry Johnson, it's just like the man is one of the greatest D-line coaches of all time. The guy has helped Ohio State recruiting in so many ways. At least you can do is not only acknowledge that we have literally had white coaches all the time. I was so excited to have Larry Johnson, a brother
I
coach.
was too. That's I was kind of bummed the week before when it was like the game was canceled. I'm like, oh, what is it? But he got the coach, so that was good for him. Build his resume up. So
I went around asking people, oh, do you know who Larry Johnson is? Have you ever heard of him? They're like, no. What do you mean? How can you like Chase Young and not understand that Larry Johnson turned him into a stud, or the Bosa brothers?
Right.
And then when it comes down to the officiating crew, guys, we're talking about reffing a game here. We're talking about being united as brothers, making a call on the field. The fact that it just now happened in 2020 is pathetic. Pathetic. And then the first thing they have to say is, why does race matter? I'll tell you why it matters. Because you guys set the terms. You guys prevented us from being unified and embodying what it's like to be successful in terms of employment, right? We've always been a step slow in terms of opportunities and growth. So the one time we do get it, why can't you just say, oh man, that's what diversity is? It has nothing to do with white people. It's about embracing Black culture, our opportunity, embodiment. It seems like they always want to switch what it means, as if we're uplifting ourselves, meaning it's an attack on you. Nah, it has nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? It has absolutely nothing to do with you. So it bothers me because and Josh can start out with this. How can we celebrate diversity? Right? How can we celebrate diversity?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this though, because I think that's kind of like what's wrong with the world. Because if you think about it, the number one thing I think is wrong with the world is like people just mind your business. If it has nothing to do with you, and even if you don't like it, be quiet. If you don't have nothing positive to say, just be quiet. It has nothing to do with you. I think everybody's too much trying to be in everybody else's business. Like, man, just live your life. Try and be a better person instead of being negative all the time.
Right.
Like, especially when it doesn't have anything to do with you, because when a cop kills a black person or whatever, it's he's a criminal, this, that, and the third. That has to do with race because that's a stereotype. But when it comes to positive things, it's why does it have to be race? So they don't know. They just whatever suits them and makes them feel good. So
look,
I don't worry about
here's
them
the
too
thing.
much.
Coming from a white person who has on my dad's side a very we'll just call them interesting family because I don't want to be rude, but it's a problem for me because as somebody who does celebrate those things and thinks that they're really awesome and likes to post about it and likes to talk to other people about it who understand it, it's hard because I don't understand why white people just can't stay out of things sometimes. Because like, especially with like what's been going on recently, like this is just to add on to it, but with the whole protests and everything like that, whether they were peaceful or not, it was so horrible to see this, like all these white people stepping up and you're like, oh, that's really cool. Everybody's on our side sort of thing. But then they take over. And it's like, that's the only thing that I started seeing on Instagram was all these people trying to speak for black people who aren't black. And it's like, stop twisting everything because everybody that's going to go off of you guys are going to go off what white people say. And it's just like, well, here's this post from this person who said this thing. And it's like, no, that doesn't represent us. That's a white person thinking that's what represents us. And it's like, go away. If you guys want to be there for us, be there, but you don't have to control it. It's not your battle to fight anymore. It's your turn to stay quiet, and just support from the background. If you want to like go out and talk about it and post it on your story and everything, that's completely fine, but like starting to make your own opinions and stuff like that and saying, well, it doesn't matter if he's black or whatever. It does matter. It's a big step in history and you should care more about it, right. But like, back in the day when Martin Luther King started doing all this stuff and doing all of his speeches and everything, that was a big deal. Why was it, if you're saying that same thing, then it should have been like, well, Martin Luther King is just another guy who's making speeches. It's like, no, he was a black man who was doing a terribly dangerous thing to do in his time and taking the steps that we needed to move forward. How can we as a nation evolve if we don't let these things be big? We have so much news about this white person, this Mexican person, this Asian person, but it's like now all of a sudden when it's black people or females even or something like that, it just gets pushed under the radar because no one gives a shit. And it's like, let's just take this away. Let's take this win away from them, but let's be respectful about it. That's personally what I think it is. It's that like we're taking away that respect, but we're not going to say out loud like we don't care. But we're going to talk about it in a way that makes you think that, right. Whether it's subconsciously or right in your face, we don't care, but we don't want to say it out loud. Like, we don't want to come on this news show and say, we don't care about this new black coach. We don't care about these protests. But we're like, here's all the reasons why you shouldn't really care. Oh, it's a coach. It doesn't matter if he's black. He needs to win. And it's like, well, when has that ever mattered? Whether you win or not.
Then I'll tell you this, Josh. So let's take their first argument. It doesn't matter about race, right? It matters about their job description, right? So if that's the case, right?
There's a hella qualified people that could have been black coaches. Hella qualified.
If that is perfectly the case, then why aren't there an increase, a complete big increase of black coaches, of female coaches, of women of color, and opportunities of that nature? Why aren't we seeing huge strides in that? I'll tell you why. Because the Rooney Rule states you only have to interview one person of color or one woman. You don't even have to interview multiple of them. They still have that racist mentality. They're not really changing that much for the better. You don't have that many black coaches. In the NBA, you've had coaches like Steven Silas, who's the head coach of the Toronto Raptors, or not Toronto Raptors, excuse me.
Rockets.
I don't know why I said Raptors. The guy's been doing 30 years of service. The guy just now becomes a head coach. And you're telling me the Brooklyn Nets hired Steve Nash with zero coaching experience? People think that that's just somehow okay. I'm not saying Steve Nash isn't a great player, but he has zero coaching experience. It drives me nuts how we're not improving the conversation. It's not about attacking white people. It's about, you have to realize black people are working so hard just to meet eye to eye on some things.
Right.
And the moment we get what we deserve, the moment we celebrate, everyone just tries to just change the narrative, and it just drives me nuts. It just drives me nuts. So,
and that has to do the thing. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna hold on. I don't. My Zoom meeting is giving me a time limit on this. So hold on. Before we continue, let me see if I can fix this really quick.
Okay. All right. Good.
I don't know why.
It's just, man.
It's never done this before.
What is it saying? It's gonna kick us the hell out.
Yeah. 40-minute time limits with 3 to 100 people. What?
3 to 100.
That's a big gap.
Yeah, right? $15 monthly? What the fuck? Okay, well, we're going to do it for a month just so that we can continue this.
You sure? You good?
Might as well.
Thank you.
Right.
I mean, like, when we figure it out, like, you can host it or whatever. I don't know if it's just because mine's not a school account.
Hey, I'll slip you some cash the next time I see you.
Yeah, likewise.
Oh, no, that's fine. Don't worry.
You're a legend, man.
Hey, when we're making millions, it doesn't matter.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest, bro. We're on a really good pace. I don't know if y'all know, but we're on a good pace.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Pace. I think after our first year, bro, I think we're gonna be in a good spot.
I agree,
bro. When did we start? In October?
2 months ago. We started 2 months ago on Sunday. 2 months ago was our first video.
Yeah,
that's pretty big.
It feels like it's been longer, to be honest.
Yeah, it feels like we've been doing this for like a couple months, like 6 months.
Yeah, nah, bro. It's fun though. This is one of my highlights of the week, bro. Talking to y'all, so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, looks like we got that. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. We can go back to it. Sorry.
Still rolling? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, basically what I was saying, but the thing is, like, some white people, because it's not all, but, like, the group of those that are like that, the narrative is always been, like, they don't actually want it to be equal. They say they do, but they don't want it to, because with Martin Luther King, when he was saying, oh, yeah, let's be equal, unity and stuff, they were, okay, we're fine with that. But once later in his career, which I believe was the downfall, of his life, and he was pretty much saying, hey, you can't really do anything in this country without labor, and you guys kind of benefited off the labor of black people for 400 years of free labor. Where's our 40 acres and a mule? And he wasn't even, he wasn't asking for nothing crazy, just, hey, can we get what we're owed? And as soon as he started asking for, payments or whatever, then that's when they decided to kill him. Because when he was just preaching the unity and integration, it was fine, whatever, because they weren't getting nothing out of it. They were just joining, whatever.
Right.
But as soon as he started asking for, hey, can we level the playing field, maybe help the black community and stuff like that, that's when they decided to kill him. So,
do you mind if I ask you guys a question really quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that this is I know that this is going to come off like, do you guys think that this is a generational problem? Like, once, we have, I know that, like, kids have been learning this. If they're taught to be racist, they're going to be racist or whatever. But do you think that once all the older generational people, like people who are like Donald Trump's age and stuff like that, who are really in that scenario and kind of like were a kid, I guess you can say, when it was, still pretty normal to be a racist, do you think that after that gets over, that we can kind of move to a better direction, even though it's not going to be perfect? I never think it will be perfect, unfortunately. But do you think that after those people die and stop preaching that sort of message, that people will stop following it because they won't have anybody to follow anymore? Because if maybe it might be a bad thing for me to say, but I think that this year was the worst in terms of diversity because of the president we had since 2016 and the things that he said.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I kind of liked it, even though it was bad, because you got to see who was who. There was no fake facing.
Right.
He brought those people out, so you know who's with who. So there wasn't no faking, as in probably with
Right.
the Obama years. But to answer your question, I say I believe it'll help a little bit, a lot because it's going to open doors for a lot of people. But at the same token, with the black community, besides the white people or whatever keeping us down or whatever, half the battles ourselves too. Especially in the area I live in and other places, there's no role models. There's nobody to look up to besides the rappers who are talking about killing each other, doing drugs. There's no push, no drive. There's a lack of male teachers who will give authority and instruction. A lot of the mothers are out doing God knows what and not attending to the children and giving them motherly love. And I'm not saying that for all that because I don't want. There's a lot of great men and women, black men and women out there doing what they need to do for their family and kids. But on the other half, reality is there's 3 kids at home, dirty clothes, snotty nose, hungry while their mom is out getting her hair and nails done partying.
I think that's such a sad thing though, because I think that's what media glorifies more than anything, because I know just as well as you guys don't. My mom was a school teacher at Franklin Heights, which is not in a good area at all, and there's not a lot of good kids that go there. But like when I was there were so many people that she'd talk about when she'd come home, and she would talk about kids in that exact same situation and stuff. But yeah, that is sad, but they would be white. And it's just like that's not being talked about, and like that's the stereotype. That's what every time that somebody makes up like an argument on why like these protests shouldn't matter and stuff like that, it's it's because black people are killing each other, it doesn't matter. And it's like, well, so are white people. Why is that? How much different is that? I mean, like the world is bad, but like why is that feeding a stereotype? Why is it just not common knowledge at this point?
Unfortunately, the answer to that is because the people who control the airways and the media ways are rich white people with a lot of money. So they get to push whatever they want.
Who will die at some point.
And that's why I push the narrative of we need to get our community so we can buy some things, and then we can put what we want to put about a positive light and get away some of them rumors and things that have been spread about us that are obviously false.
Right.
Which, because they're with everybody. I mean, there's bad stuff in every race. So, but yeah.
And Josh, I wanted to add to what Kyler said, because when we talked about the Black Lives Matter movement, I said it helped and it didn't help. And I said it helped because people are getting more awareness. And I said it didn't help because a lot of white people go back to normalcy after the movement's kind of dialed down. And I said, as black people,
a lot of us are in it too, just for the show.
Exactly. And I said, but statistics show that it's more white people. But
yeah.
But and I said, as black people, what can we do? Right? Because at the end of the day, it's our movement. It's our cause. If you want something to happen, you have to initiate it. You have to educate. You have to tell people what your cause is. It's just common knowledge. And I said, we have to continue to push that, right? We have to continue to reach out to several communities and be able to say like, hey, Black lives do matter. You know what I mean? In the workplace, in the community, in the streets, everywhere. Doesn't matter. So, but what I didn't add on is what Kyler just said. There are those people that they just want nothing to do with it. Like, it doesn't matter what black people do. Whatever narrative you try to push, whatever storyline you try to push, whatever news coverage, it doesn't matter. They're still going to be like that. So if that happens, then ignore them. Like, when I say ignore them, we have to hope and pray the majority will rule out. Because there's nothing we got to control we can control. We can't, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We there's nothing we can do about that. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to clear that up, because I didn't want to make it sound like we should be buddy. I mean to sound like we should control what we can control. And what we can't control, we should continue to press on and move forward. So I just wanted to clear that up from the last podcast. And so
black
you guys,
people, we got to fight and fight like hell. Fight like your life depends on it. I don't think there's enough of us doing it. Right. We got us doing it, and then we got Josh backing us up, and Cam, and there's other people. There's a lot of us that isn't shown, but the rest of us, you need to start fighting like hell for what you want. If you want to change, you can't sit around waiting to do it, because obviously time has statistically has proven that they don't care. So if we don't get out and do nothing, nothing's going to get done.
Right.
So,
And I also think that, like, and, you know, you guys can all correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think that from at least what I've seen and at least the things that I've written about and stuff like that, the half the problem is also thinking that you can do more by yourself than you can with everybody behind you.
Yeah, we talk
You know,
about that all the time.
It's
Tyrell,
so hard.
You're going to answer this question. You're going to talk.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, it's so hard to. It's so hard. I know that, like, I don't personally know it because, you know, getting pulled over by a cop for me or something like that for speeding, I know that nothing's going to happen to me. I'm going to get a ticket and I'm going to go away. Half the time I don't even get a ticket. You know, that's just how life works. And it sucks, but that's how life works. You know, but it's like, but if you are a black person and you're in a car and you get pulled over by a police officer and he's giving you shit and stuff like that, there's really only so much you can do at that time. Even if you have a camcorder and you're recording every single bit of it or something, it can't help you anymore. And I hate to say it that way, but it's like if you get pulled over and you start talking to the cop and you start being rude or anything, one little thing can put you in jail. And then all of a sudden no one gives a shit about you anymore.
Or worse.
What? Yeah, right. Or worse, you know, or you get beat up by the police officer that, you know, can get out of it in a second. So
Or
it's like,
killed.
right, exactly. Or killed, or even worse, you know. But like, that's the thing that at least that I see so much that I just think that for the greater good it has to be taking an L at this point, you know, because it sucks to be talked down to by somebody. And I understand that feeling is probably absolutely terrible. I hate being talked down to people from anybody of any age, but I can totally relate to the fact of it being a police officer. But if you start doing that sort of stuff and the stuff that I see on the internet and stuff like that, you may not get away with it. You know, there may be cops that are chiller, and honestly, the ones that I see on the internet, it seems like the cops are at least decent and they can kind of relate. And yeah, they're bad people regardless of that because what they're doing. But if you have all the evidence in the world and you go to court, they're not going to give a shit. They're just going to be like, yeah, well, you shouldn't have talked to him. That's blah, 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 this and that. They pull up this dusty old rule book from the 18th century and tell you why it's wrong, and then you go to jail for 2 years. But if you have a crowd of people, what I was getting to, if you have all those people on your back, look at what all these protests did. Even if you have people that are around you saying that they did nothing, that none of these protests did anything, we're still waiting on answers for Mr. Floyd, and we did not get the good answers for Breonna. But, you know, but it's just like, but they still did something. They united a whole lot of people. And of all races, right? Exactly.
Upset that
you know
you're going to get hell, and
right.
It's only going to keep getting worse and worse the more you do.
Right. And no matter how hard the media and everybody tried to turn it, and they talked about looters and they talked about this and that, no one gave a shit. Everybody's like, we're still doing this. We're still going out because we know it's right. You know, by yourself, you can't fight an army, but when you have your own army, you got a chance. Mm-hmm. You know, just take that little second. And just remember, like, no matter how bad it is at the moment, it's got to get better. You know, we can keep moving forward, but we can't forget this stuff. These protests and everything that we fought for can't just be another thing in the dust. You know, it can't just be something where we just see every time we go downtown, we see spray paintings and murals and all that nice stuff that we've been able to see down there. Once that all goes away, it's got to be remembered. People got to keep pushing that message, you know. I'm surprised that people aren't still out there protesting every once in a while. Yeah, they won't be as big, but get like 20 or 30 people together, go out there and continue that message, you know, or on the internet or like what we're doing, you know. That's the only message that I can give out, being a white person who doesn't want to try to inflate the message or try to be like I'm more of a part of it than I should be, you know.
Tyrell, man, what you got to say about us uniting, brother?
I mean, like Josh said, we can't do everything by ourselves. We need a team, or we need groups of people that we can trust, and you know that actually see our vision. Like for this podcast, for example, Kyler couldn't do this by himself. I mean, not saying
I
like
couldn't. I tell y'all that all the time. When I first started this thing, well, when we first started, I ain't even gonna say that. That was the first message I told y'all. I call each one of y'all individually. I told you I could not do it on myself, nor did I want to do it by myself. It just don't work like that because my main thing is, even if you feel like you're a know-it-all, you need somebody to check you, and then you need to have somebody you can check as well, so that y'all like, okay, hey, wait, you feel this way, but let's be real. So it's just that check of balance, and I think that's like with a lot of people who are in higher power, they don't have nobody to check them or talk to them and be real. They think they're too high and above
they got a bunch of
everybody.
yes men. And
Yeah,
all
so
that.
even if I did do this by myself, I mean, being the type of person I am, I can say now, even if I had a million followers or whatever, I can say I wouldn't be like that. But you never know when you get that type of power. Whereas when you do get that, you have some people who like, hold on, wait, who grew with you, and they have some say so too. We all own a fraction of this thing, so everybody has a say so, and you got to get in check sometimes. You never stop learning. So.
And sadly, Josh, we have another death in the black community in Ohio. In Casey
Columbus.
Oh man,
Casey Goodson. Excuse me, Casey Goodson. So, I wanted to read this thread that I had with my family today. Hey, have you guys followed the investigation of the officer who killed Casey Goodson? Just watched a press conference, and according to Casey's mom, the family was treated like a group of criminals. They say that the accused officer threatened to shoot the victim's uncle and niece when they asked him why he shot Casey. So very sad. So far, the victim has no outstanding priors. Police said that he had a gun, and the family says when he fell into the house, he was holding on to a Subway sandwich. His 5-year-old brother and grandmother were both in the kitchen when he was getting shot and fell in the house. One officer called the mother a bitch multiple times when she got home and was trying to get to her family. He's got multiple shot wounds to the torso, and he passed away. So they were looking for somebody else. Doesn't matter. You don't kill somebody. You don't call anybody a bitch. You're the bitch.
Yeah, I mean, why is the first thing you do is pull up and shoot? Whatever happened to talking? Whatever happened to cops talking? Why do you got to pull up and shoot?
Whatever happened to shoot to disarm? Whatever happened to that? Does everybody forget about that?
Listen, bro, all you cops out there, bro, if you too much of a pussy to go up and have a man-to-man conversation, maybe talk with the person, hey, are you such and such? Then you don't need to be doing that job. We don't need your protection, sadly, to be honest with you. You can turn your badge in.
Sadly, Kyler, it gets worse, right?
Oh, yeah, so we all know it does. I wasn't.
My cousin texted me this. My cousin. Yeah, that was my friend's brother. He was coming home from a dentist appointment, and whoever they were looking for wasn't Casey. He was licensed to carry his weapon, but he was not swinging it out the window like they keep trying to say he was. After they killed him and the family was outside wanting the answer, they kept calling some of them out of their name, and everything was ridiculous and so sad. So prayers sent out to my cousin because she knew who he was, right? Yeah. So I've had multiple conversations with people about police brutality, and I am one of those people. Forgive me for saying this. I am not an abolitionist. I truly do believe that there is more we can do in terms of police reform, and I do believe that there are many instances, like in terms of Virginia, for example, they just took away the no-knock rule. So the death of Breonna Taylor would not happen in Virginia. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I was telling Kyler that rule should be disarmed.
Yeah, that's retarded, bro. That don't even make no sense, right? No sense, bro, so, at all.
So, and we're looking at a case where, you know, this person needed a gun. Why couldn't he, if anything, use, I don't know, a taser, maybe his pepper spray, maybe some mace? Why couldn't he read him his rights before he called him a bitch? You know, things like that. Why don't
whatever, or maybe how about, hey,
innocent until proven guilty?
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like we always want to act like, you know, we're receiving orders from the commander-in-chief, and we have to shoot on sight. You know what I mean? This is not the military. If you want to go to the military and do that, my dad tells me that all the time. You think you're hot shit? Go do that.
Yeah, go over there. Go fight. You
right.
Set your man. You set your man, and you love your country so much. Go fight. Please
look,
go fight.
It doesn't matter if the kid, honestly, even if he was the kid that they were looking for, And he
Yeah.
was standing out the window and he was shooting up houses and he was driving by and like, you know, shooting people, this and that. It doesn't matter. Unless if you are in the most life or death situation, you are supposed to have the training to disarm the person as best you can. I understand that cops go through way more than we can even fathom of going through on a day-to-day basis. I get that. I understand that. I'm not trying to take that away from them. But it's like you are trying to justify shooting an innocent kid by saying he has a gun. And it's like you deal with people who have guns every single day. People who are shooting at you every single day. And it's like, unless if the person pulled a gun on you and was about to fire at you, there's nothing that should cause you to think, I need to kill this person. You know, there's a video, obviously I won't show it here, but it is on YouTube, and it's of a cop, and he went to this like, I don't know if he was like a drug dealer or something like that, but he was trying to find him. And the guy walked out of his house and the guy was like the cop was trying to be cool with him. And the guy instantly pulled out his gun and started firing at him. And he shot him twice in the chest, the cop, at least, you know. And the cop is like, you know, getting all this stuff. And the guy starts running at him with his gun. And the only thing that he can do is turn around and shoot him. And unfortunately, that man died. And you can see they played the entire thing. The guy was absolutely heartbroken. He was in tears. He was crying. He was breathing so heavily. He instantly went to the family. It's like, I didn't know what to do. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to kill him and this and that. That right there is the only acceptable way that I could see something for that.
Yeah, when you fight in life or death.
Yeah,
right.
Don't go
right.
Listen, we are not saying like treat police officers like they're so beneath us that we could just charge at them,
right,
spit on them, throw things at them, shoot them. No, that's not what we're saying. We still have to do our part as Black people, right, to offset that narrative. But what made it so awful, and again, I told him that Goodson got multiple shots in the torso. You said in the chest. What happened to shooting somebody in the leg?
Exactly. Disarm, immobilize. There's no point in it. It's just like you should be fired. You should be taken to the psychiatric ward because you are not allowed to be on the streets. You are no better than all the people that you're saying that you're better than. The people that are out there slinging drugs and shooting people for no reason, and like your initiation into a gang is to kill somebody. You're no better than them. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a badge or not. Yeah. Like I said, I support our heroes just like everybody else does. But I will never sit here and say that the cops are good right now in this current time period.
We just need to hold people accountable. And that's why when I educated myself on defund the police, there were guys like me that was like, and President Obama took criticism for this because he said the Democrats lost a lot of support because of the word defund in terms of defund the police. And Obama was right and he was wrong. He was right because that is the truth. A lot of Democrats, and typically, again, white people, they were fearful that Black people were going to start looting and rioting and their streets would be, the communities would be unsafe. So they voted the other way, right? You look at President Trump, all the endorsements he got from police and military, they were all endorsed by him. So there's for that good reason, because he kept pushing that fear, right? And so I was saying to myself, let me see. There are many programs that have been defunded. All I think about when I say defund is not take away everything.
No.
There are some assets in the police department that should not be there. And that money should not only go into the Black communities, but it should go into other areas of service like housing, education, infrastructure, things of that nature. Things that can help our economy. You know what I mean? There are so much unnecessary fundings that go to the police. You know what I mean? Especially when there's not even an equal distribution of police. In one heavily populated Black area, you'll have more cops, more likely to arrest and kill Black people. And then
a whole bunch of them that don't look like them either.
Right. And then they'll go into the suburbs and there'll be like 1 or 2 cops monitoring the streets for tickets, but they ain't gonna kill nobody.
Not even.
I'm in Atlanta.
Not
nobody
even
has died over here.
Yeah.
Nobody. But if you go in some place like where Goodson lived, where there's likely going to be more police, you know what I'm saying? And again, I just think there are so many policies and things that we can just push and push and push to the point where it's gonna have to happen. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't happen, I'll go the abolitionist route. Because at the end of the day, I'm tired of my black brothers and sisters dying like this.
Yeah, for real.
My mom the other day, we just left the eye doctor. My brother left in his car. She had to call him on the phone and say, remember to put your headlights on. Remember that. He had his headlights off and he started to leave. My mom had to call him and tell him to turn it on. You know why she told him that?
Why?
There was a chance that my brother couldn't have got back to his house safely because his taillights were off, because he's black.
Yep.
People have died over busted taillights. You can't make this up.
Yeah.
My mother had to call. People don't understand what we go through. I really don't think they understand. My mother had to call my brother, call him while he was driving. Remember to turn them on. Because my brother, he just, he got a car and they're not automatic like mine. He has to turn them on himself.
Right.
So there's just so many things that I'm trying to remain optimistic. I truly believe we can continue to push, like in Virginia, for example. We got to continue to have that change like that. And
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little bit on the abolitionist path.
That's
We'll
fine.
keep it a butt. Yeah, I think
fine.
I'm.
That's fine.
That's kind of my job, like I said, because I want to be an athletic director. But
that's fine.
Me, a black man who has some common sense and who will actually genuinely care for them, I can definitely make a dent, and especially what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Look, and the other thing is that, I know that this is not going to come as a surprise, but they're not going to take away money from the police force. They're not going to do
absolutely
that.
Not.
But there is a very good compromise that comes along with that. If you're not going to take away money, then put it into what matters. If you are a police officer, especially in Columbus, I'm pretty sure you only have to have an associate's degree to get into the police force and to start your training, which is ridiculous.
You don't need to do college.
Yeah. Okay, no college. That's even worse. That's even worse. So having no college education or anything like that and being able to just buzz through training like it's nothing, put some money into it. The people that are going into the police academy need to have an associate's degree, and then they will complete their college training in the police force, learning all of the laws and things that go into being a police officer. And then on top of that, you're going to take a psychiatric test. You're going to go through all of this training to really let us know if you are ready to be a police officer. Because again, like I said, I will go on the police route and say that not all of them are bad. We all know that. And the ones that aren't bad, you have to have a lot of mental power. You have to have a lot of psychological sense to get through some of these situations. You have to be able to keep calm in these really, really intense situations. And even if this whole story that we just talked about went a completely opposite direction and we were all like, oh yeah, there's nothing they can do, they still have to be trained for that. They still have to be trained on what it's going to be like to take someone's life. We can't just let somebody.
Police officers have to go through like an evaluation of like mental health or anything.
No.
Well, come on, Kyler. You actually think people with mental health issues?
Well, I mean, they wouldn't admit it anyway, so that wouldn't even really. But
right.
I'm just saying, is that
would it matter? Yes.
Yeah, that's
put
crazy.
Money into it.
It should matter. But again, you talk about the guy who shot Tamir Rice. He's a cop again.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cop again.
Hold on, y'all. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt, but he almost ready. So.
All right. Well,
for the interview.
Well,
so yeah, no.
The guy who shot Tamir Rice, he claimed a lot of mental health issues and things of that nature, and he's back on the streets. We're using mental health, which is a real issue, as an excuse to kill black people as well. And if that's not enough, Kyler.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. No, I'm just saying, in order to get the job, is there like a evaluation that they have to get to even qualify for the job? Is what I'm.
Josh, psychology, sociology, criminology.
Yes, sir.
If they don't study human behavior, criminal behavior, why would you ever think about being a cop?
Exactly. It makes no sense.
When you're dealing with things like drugs, maybe chemistry.
Yeah.
Things like that. You need to know certain.
Yes.
You need to know certain.
You need to know the laws that you are following. You need to know the laws that you are teaching to people.
Exactly.
If you pull somebody over and they have a question, you need to be able to answer it. You don't need to be able to look it up on Google. You need to know the fucking answer to that question.
Yeah.
Shake it off.